the liberation of Olaf's hometown, or what's left of it, continues in this part. As you can see, I'm starting to push forward and restricting the available space Lash has. I could probably just make use of the APC now to go for a headquarters capture, but she has so few units left that I'd probably just go for a rout anyway. I don't know why, but it's just a thing of mine to often go for routing in the campaign mode. Then again, I recommend in multiplayer matches it's usually always best to capture the enemy's headquarters, because that's generally a lot faster. Although often by the time you're in their territory enough to even attempt a headquarters capture, they won't have very much stuff anyway, so you can just as easily rout them. Although, having played, well, I play Days of Ruined Wi-Fi every now and again, and finally that city's been captured. So as I was saying, I play Days of Ruined Wi-Fi occasionally, and what I tend to find is that more often than not, matches tend to end in one side surrendering. Probably because they take far too long otherwise. And often an Advance Wars game will generally get into a situation where one person is pushed into a situation where they can't possibly make a comeback. Best to attack it with. Yes, probably the recon actually, or I don't know. I don't think that was quite a smart move, because the mech could come and attack me next turn. Anyway, speaking of Days of Ruined Wi-Fi, one feature I am very, very glad they added, and I think it's about time they started doing this for an online game, is that if you disconnect, the other player counts as winning. Like, basically, it counts as a win on your opponent's record if you disconnect. Which, yeah, frankly, it's about time they did that with a Wi-Fi game. Yeah, certainly a lot of people would have loved that feature. Rage quitting is incredibly frustrating at times. Still, things are now well and truly going my way, and I have a bit of an income advantage, but I still don't think it's... You're realistically never going to get medium tanks in this mission. Now, the next few turns, with hindsight, I probably should have used my normal power a bit earlier, because... Oh crap, Lash's mech's on a city, damn it, Always watch out for that. Anyway, since I have 1 star in my super meter, I was starting to think maybe I should go for the super, but yeah, realistically, I was never going to get there without compromising my speed score, so I should have just used the normal power earlier. Turns out later on I will use it, but at a time where it's pretty redundant, I just wanted to show it off, really. Anyway, now we need to make sure we surround that particular base. There's quite a lot of rivers in this map. Yeah, rivers can only be crossed by infantry or mechs. Mechs cross them faster. And they don't give any defensive benefits, so it's usually best to avoid them when attacking. I think a recon could do the job here. Or not. Still, the thing about rivers is, just the one thing I like about them, is if you attack someone with artillery while they're in a river, the animation looks pretty cool. Basically sends huge splashes of water everywhere. Well, the GBA's best imitation of that kind of effect. Still. Speaking of that, I mean, I think I once read a review of this game, and yeah, the one statement I totally agree with is that the graphics and sound are basically average by GBA standards, but that doesn't really matter because the gameplay is just so absolutely fantastic. I think this is probably one of my all-time favourite Game Boy Advance games, actually. Oh, I've only lost one unit. Of course, she's very close to getting her super. Always good to keep an eye on your opponent's power meter to see just how far you can push them. With Lash, it's not as important, but if you're facing, say, Adder, especially Adder, you really need to, yeah, watch out for him. Speaking of Adder, I mean, oh, I should have said this in the previous mission, but Adder is in charge of the invasion of Yellow Comet, so we won't be seeing him much more in Blue Moon, but he'll be appearing a lot in the Yellow Comet campaign, and trust me, that's when we're going to learn to hate him. If you don't already hate him now, which you probably do. Oh, that didn't go so well. Of course, Adder also has the honour of being a very unlikable person character-wise, as well as gameplay-wise. I don't really mind Lash. I think Lash is quite interesting to play against usually. She's not that annoying most times, and well, personality-wise, she's not as downright crazy as some of the other Black Hole people, although she is actually pretty crazy, and she does do some quite creepy stuff that you won't actually realise that unless you play Hard Campaign, where one of the Orange Star missions is replaced with a very different one. And that one's actually kind of creepy. I'll probably upload that mission later after I finish the normal campaign. I just thought, oh, screw this, I'm gonna win anyway, I might as well win with snow effects in play. It just looks cool. Yeah, basically snow slows down movement drastically for most things, and Olaf's troops aren't affected. Of course, on the flip side though, Olaf's units treat rain just like other armies treat snow. Interesting thing about snow is that it increases the movement cost on mountains so much that they're practically impassable to regular infantry. Mechs can move on them, but still. Interesting, this is a somewhat bittersweet ending because Olaf's hometown basically got destroyed. Of course, the overall tone of the game prevents this moment from actually having that much of an emotional impact, but probably one of the more bittersweet missions in the game, actually.
Mission complete.
And that background on the victory screen, I believe, is unique to this mission. Yeah, some missions get their own unique victory screens. Right, now on to the next batch of Blue Moon missions. And there's the lab right there.